Hello and welcome to the Slackware ARM vlog. This channel is all about Slackware Linux running on the ARM platform. This package arrived the other day and in it contains a replacement mainboard for the Pinebook Pro. Now a short while ago I created a video where I was troubleshooting a hardware problem that had emerged with the Pinebook Pro that we used to develop and maintain support for the Pinebook Pro in the Slackware project. And Pine64 have very generously sent a replacement mainboard for us to use with the project. So once again, I can test and develop support for the Pinebook Pro for Slackware. So here is the replacement board for the Pinebook Pro. And in this video, I'm going to install this new board into the Pinebook Pro and install Slackware on it. So let's get going. Here is the Pinebook Pro. Now, as you can probably see, there's been an accumulation of dust. So I've never taken one of these apart before. So I'm just going to begin by unscrewing the board. That's an incredibly small screw. Okay, that's fun. Right, thwarted at the first hurdle. Right, hang on, let's peel this off here to expose everything. Okay, so I have found myself a little tool set that I got from Akamai, who also help sponsor the project with the hosting of the website on the CDN. And how did you use this thing? And also we use the Akamai Cloud, or Linode as it was previously called, to host certain parts of the infrastructure for the ARM project as well. A couple of years ago when I was working on one of the trade shows, I took this back and hopefully that fits. It does. So let's just pop that out and unscrew these. So that's all of the screws removed, and now I think we just need to disconnect these cables, these ribbons here. The only thing is, I'm not exactly sure how to do that. Now this is where it helps having another one so we can see what the connector looks like to get an idea of how you might go about disconnecting it. There's a flap here that clamps down onto the ribbon, so you just need to flick it up. So let's just flick that up with my nail like that. Okay, that was easy enough. For this little one here, you just grab it with your nails, just hold it at the sides and pull it out. This one will be the same, so you just get your nail under it and flick up the top and then slide the ribbon out from under it like that. Getting closer, what else do we have that's holding us in? It's probably this bit of tape, so just be careful with this. I could have left that on actually. Let's put that. Take this label away. That's a stark reminder that you have to have this cable disconnected when you've got the battery connected, otherwise you'll damage the board. So I'll just again flick that up with my nail, slide that out, and now what is this here? Oh, okay. So that does need to be okay. So I need to disconnect the battery cable. Like that, so I did need to lift that up. Let's put that underneath like that. Okay, we're getting there. And then is that the same? Or is that the, okay, so there's a couple of little connectors down here. So I'll just start with the easy one. So just for the NVMe, just put your nail up and flick up the little catch. And then with these ones, just get your nails and okay, that needs to come off that tape there. It's like Band-Aid, like an electronics version of Band-Aid of this stuff. I don't know what the name of it is, but let's try and lift this off. Maybe I can just put that underneath actually, save ripping it up. Oh, there we go. Because I haven't got any replacement of that stuff, and I don't want to put any other tape in here particularly. Come on, out you come. There we go. Right, so that's freed. Again, that's another little flap. Just flip that up. So I'll disconnect the Wi-Fi now. This is the antenna here, this grey wire at the end. I don't know if you can see that, but it is. So I think you knows you just gently hold them and lift them up, and they should release. And out comes the Pine64 mainboard. Okay, so that's the mainboard, so we'll put that aside. Ooh, it looks slightly different, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Right, okay, well, let's plug it together. So the trick with these boards, you have to put it in at an angle, because you need to get the USB-C port correctly in first. So you kind of put it, because there's this screw socket here, and the board is curved to receive it. Put it like that. With the USB socket in the corner, you have to kind of just slide it over and just push it in like that. That little snap noise is just the noise of the USB-C socket pushing into the plastic case and securing itself in position. So at this point we should find that the USB-A connector goes in properly, which it does. So you can see that that goes in properly. So we can now remove it. Okay, so next let's wire these back up. So I just need to get I need to fish this ribbon cable up from here like that, and bend that over, allow that to just seat itself in like that, which is easy enough. There we go, push it in, then just close the flap so it's secure. Then pull this, probably goes up like that. You need a pair of tweezers for this. These are my daughters. I've no idea. I guess there's some sort of makeup thing. I've no idea. But anyway, they've got hooked ends. I do not know where this came from, this little thing. I don't know what it is. Is it a sensor? I'll have to look at the video and see where that came from, because I didn't see that. Maybe it goes in there. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's done. Let's now insert the rest of them. So here's the battery one. Slide that in, push that in with my nails. Done. This one should be pretty easy. Put that in. Keep that disconnected. Lift the flap, slide that ribbon in. Like that. Hopefully that should, yeah, looks good. And then this one. Okay, there we go. That goes in there. Just double check these are all seated properly. Yeah, looks good. And then this one, which is the speaker, goes into here. Probably that way round. Well, yeah, it certainly goes in easily enough. And then the NVMe, slide that in, done. Okay, oh yes, and then the antenna needs to be restored. Route that under there. Tweezer time. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that needs to remain disconnected. Let's double check the Slackware installation instructions for the Pinebook Pro. The easiest thing to do is you begin at arm.slackware.com, the Slackware ARM website. Click on the installation instructions on the left. Scroll down to currently the development branch, because we don't at this present moment have a stable release. Click on current, find Pinebook Pro, click on the instructions. Also reduce the size of that's pretty big, isn't it? Okay, there we go. That's better. First of all, let's just find out what that little thing is. Where does it live? Okay, it lives in there and it goes facing downwards. That's the sound controller there, and we want that to be up to disable the sound and enable the serial console. So I'll do that in a moment. Disconnect the battery bypass cable, must be disconnected. So yeah, we need to disconnect those. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah. So these two cables here are to remain disconnected when you're powering the Pinebook Pro from the battery, which we are. The only reason they were connected when I opened it up was because when I was troubleshooting it, I couldn't get it to boot or even power on actually when the battery was connected. So I disconnected the battery, plugged them together and powered it from the mains. So now we're back in business, at least I hope so. These must remain disconnected. I think everything's connected in now, so we've got everything plugged in. Oh, I just need to screw it back together, don't I? There we go. When I was a kid, I would disassemble the VCR and various other things, and you never needed all the screws they had. I mean, they just waste screws in industry, don't they? Okay, let's put that important label back there. All right, so I think everything's plugged in and ready to roll. So let's see if we can get this thing powered on. I now need to write the Slackware bootloader flashing image to the micro SD card so we can flash U-boot onto the Pinebook Pro. And now I'll put it into the PC and write the flashing image to it. And since my previous video, I have connected a USB little hub to it. So I've used a little script I keep around to write the images to micro SD cards. It's not on the FTP site. That's just because this if you run this without checking it, you'd potentially wipe out your storage. So I've now written the Pinebook Pro bootloader flashing image to the micro SD card. So we're ready to now try that in the Pinebook Pro. Okay, so we've got the Pinebook Pro upside down, ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do though is configure it so that we've got serial access rather than sound. If you look in the Slackware ARM installation guide, we need to disable sound, enable serial. Here it is, so we'll flick that up. The eMMC is still removed because I can't see a way of disabling the eMMC on this board, so maybe you can't do that anymore. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to leave that disconnected because I don't use it anyway. Then we need the micro SD card to boot from. I'm cognizant of the power of the spring inside of here, so I'm going to try and do this. There we go, nice. We need the power. Okay, so that's the power, so we'll plug that in like that. So now I need to plug the serial cable in here, which, where is it? Oh, it's on this side, isn't it? So the serial connector for the Pinebook Pro uses the audio, the 3.5mm audio jack, so it's a dual purpose connector, and that's why you've got the option here to select its utility. So in this case we're going to utilize it as the serial adapter. Okay, so there's nothing on the screen yet, so what we're going to do is power it on. So let's just gently open it up and then push the power button. See if anything happens. Oh, you have to hold it down, don't you, I think? Like 3 seconds or something. Okay, it's not powering on yet. Okay. Okay, it's not powering on, but that could be because the battery's discharged. I think if the battery's discharged, you can't power it. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to so I've disconnected the power. So I'm just going to reconnect these two cables, and if this works, I can leave it charging and pick it up later. But let's just see if we can get this working. Okay, right, so I've now reconnected the bypass cables, and the battery, as you can see, is disconnected. So let's try turning it on. 1, 2, 3. Ah, there we go. I heard a noise. I'm not sure if it was good though. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay. So we can see on the screen it's working. Upside down. Not sure why there's nothing on the serial console though. Okay. But okay. Well, I'll roll with it at the moment. So you can see, try and feed you the other way around. So you can see that it's booted, it's erasing the SPI flash, which takes about a minute, I think. Okay, it's writing, and it's complete. So you can see at the bottom that the process is complete. Okay. So I'm now going to write the Slackware installer to a different micro SD card that's 32 gig. So let's put that in. and we're at SDB. Okay, so Slackware platform iArch bootware installer AIO, and it's the generic one, isn't it? So exocat. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's have it in the command history from the previous video. So I'm timing it to yes. I'm going to unpack the generic RK3399 Slackware installer and write it to SDB, which today is our micro SD card. So let's do that. Okay, so now that that is done, we can disconnect this. Also, so this micro SD card contains the Slackware installer ready to boot. So let's go. So I've put the base back on, haven't screwed it back on yet, but I've put the base back on and I've turned the Pinebook Pro the right way around. So we just need to insert the micro SD card, which goes pin side down. There we go. Okay. Right, so the battery is still currently disconnected, but let's just turn it on. Okay. It's booting the Slackware installer. Still haven't got the serial port working yet though. Maybe the connectors is different on the oh no. Oh, hold on. Disconnected it. Okay. It's difficult to do one-handed. No. The Slackware installer has booted. Let's press enter there. Press 1 to select a key map. I'll choose the UK one, although it's actually a US keyboard thinking about it, so I probably should have not done that, but never mind. Right, F disk -L. Do we have my NVMe? Yes, we do. Still in the same configuration as I left it, with 8 gigs of Linux swap, and the balance of it, 224 gigs, used for the OS. The reason why I've got such a large swap partition on this machine is because of web browsing, basically. That uses so much RAM that you need a lot of swap. Although probably not 8 gig, but still. So let's do setup. Let's add swap. No, we won't check the thing. So let's format the partition. Okay. Yeah, so we've got the installation media. So let's say yes. And let's just install everything, and then I'll come back in a bit to finish off the installation and see how it went. Okay, so we don't need the Slackware installer because it's installed. Actually, I'm just going to check dmessage before we go. Okay, that looks good. So let's remove the Slackware installer. I don't need to configure the console setting, so we'll accept the defaults of no. That's up to date. We don't need to flash it. Let's configure our mouse. What was this machine called? It's been so long. Whizbit, I think that's what I called the Pinebook Pro. Whizbit. Enter the domain. Fine. Network manager sounds good. I don't need to configure RPC on this machine. I don't use NFS on the Pinebook Pro. So that's fine. Custom fonts, definitely. TER. I've actually been thinking I should probably set the default as the font that we use, which is 732B. That requires writing a patch, which I'm not inclined to do right now. So, okay, local time. So let's select London. Choose page. So let's use page down, function and page. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, London, Vim, that's fine, KDE sounds good. Set ourselves a password, okie dokie, exit, reboot, okay. Okay, it's booting. Cool. Okay, Whizbit's back up and running. Let's log in as root. Add user Mosey. And so yeah, okay, I don't need to do any of that. Set a password. All right, so let's switch over to our other virtual console, so I don't need to exit from root. Let's log in as Mosey. Okay, start X. Let's check that the graphics still work. I'm sure they do. Looks good so far. Ooh. It's making an interesting noise there. Don't know if you can hear that. Whoa. Whoa, okay. KDE seems to be in good shape. Looks good to me. I've subsequently determined what this little thing is here with the golden top. It is the microphone. So I've just gently pushed it down into the recess there where that lives, so that's now secure. So it's sometime later now, and I've had the Pinebook Pro charging from the mains with the battery bypass cables disconnected. So now I have the Pinebook Pro running in, I'll call it normal mode, which is from the battery. I've got the bypass cables disconnected as they should be in normal operation. I've got it plugged into the mains because it's currently charging, and I'll put the base back on this in a bit. But as you can see, it's now booted, and I also have the serial connection working again. That wasn't working simply because the RXD, or the receiving line, had fallen off. Simple as that. Because unfortunately this, I think they're called DuPont connectors, had fallen off the head, or the array of connections here. So it just simply fallen off because it's quite loose. And as you can see, I'd put some sellotape on it, but alas, that hadn't prevented it from being knocked off. So that's all that was. So the serial is now working correctly as it should be. Machine's booted again. We're back running on battery, so all is good in the world of the Pinebook Pro. The Pinebook Pro rides again. I'm extremely grateful to the Pine64 company for helping out with the project. It really helps me keep things going, and without that support I would have been unable to maintain the support for the Pinebook Pro. So again, thank you very much to the Pine64 company, and thanks for your support with this project. It helps pay for the electricity to run all this stuff and buy all the equipment and various different peripherals and all sorts of stuff needed to keep this project going. So if you want to donate to the project, the information is on the screen, and you'll also find it in the episode information below as well. So thank you very much. That's all I've got for this episode. So take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.